That kind of thinking, in my own words, is the very survival way of investment, because investment is a luxury, and if you have to drop yourself so low to see it as an oxygen for cash flow, you are missing the point of investment. Case study, where would you put your money if you have 1.5 million and you will do better? So how many of you feels that resale will still give you your money, and how many of you feels that new homes will still give you your money despite its high entry price? At the end of the day, what we want to do here is make our money work harder. That means in the shorter periods of time, we want to make sure that we gain the most amount of so-called capital appreciation. Okay, we don't want to trade our shelf life as an investor while the property is growing only at rate of hedging value against the inflation rate, right? With that in mind, okay, we will then use this case study here from a property investor perspective. We're talking about a budget of 1.5 million with 75% max loan that one could take, which is 1.125 million over a tenure of 30 years. Okay, so this guy can take up to 30 years. He's probably very young, 35 years and below. And interest rate is 4.5%. Using that as a denominator. We then have year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. We are using a 4 years horizon for this illustration. So we have interest and principal being lined up here, and we are comparing two kinds of purchase, because right now we talk about what? New homes or resale, right? So on the left chart we will see is resale in blue, and in the orange chart we will see new homes, which is building under construction, BUC. You could tell here, given the progressive payment, which is the new home sales, against full disbursement, which is a resale. On the first year, basically before foundation, the new homes pays 0 interest. Whereas if you buy a resale straight away, you are paying your interest and principal already. And over here, we are using quarter to quarter computation. Okay, so you can see Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 for the first year. So this is where, yes, you don't get immediate rental, but at the same time, you also don't pay anything as well. So we then move on to the different progressive payment. Of course, we talk about before foundation, you don't pay anything. And we talk about year 2, you'll be paying about 10% because it's foundation. And in Q4 of year 2, you'll be paying that superstructure at 10%. And this is how it looks like in terms of your monthly repayment from principal and interest. And we go by the next 5% at brick wall. That will be a third year already. Every 5% is a quarter. So we then see ceiling and plumbing as well, roof, car park, drainage, and at TOP is 25%. Over here, we see interest payable by the resale amounting to 195,858 over the 4 years window for people who are looking at, of course, cash flow driven investment concept. And when you compare the new homes, you are effectively only paying 63,207. So as much as you are getting immediate cash flow, so to speak, in today's context with a high interest rate, you barely even so-called cover your so-called mortgages as well. But of course, with the high so-called rental market right now, some of them are enjoying it if you bought your properties way back. Okay, but if you are buying right now, like all of you said it right, resale market is also selling at all-time high. So with this, we want to compute the progressive payment. In fact, at year 4, where you TOP, you are only paying 60% of your 75% loan. So effectively, you still have a 15% that yet to be dispersed. And new launch, you basically save about 132,000 in this instance, which is many people could not see. So in this way of investment, I always tell people, you want to invest by way of delay gratification. So what is delay gratification? You don't need to see the money in right away. But when you decided to exit it, you get that maximum or optimized profit. And in this instance, we can see that just by paying your progressive payment, right, you already save on interest of 132,000, and of course 60% disbursement. This equates to the difference of 2,764 per month in savings, just if you want to break it down in 48 months period. And more importantly, if you were to look at the disbursement, new homes, basically, like I mentioned, you only pay 60% out of that 75%. In that instance, you actually optimize your yield at the 4th year at its maximum. Whereas the resale property, of course, being first year, you're paying at 75% rate. For new homes, even though you are collecting rental, okay, at TOP, you are only paying 60%. So your 15% will only kick in almost 1 year later. So when that kicks in, you will then be paying the same rate as a resale property. So why some people want to enjoy the first year of rental income from a TOP property? Because they are enjoying the highest possible yield from a mortgage payment perspective. So I hope you understand this portion, because this is very important that many people miss out. They're just looking at the immediate gratification for the immediate rental, that they forget that, hey, if you were to dive really deep, your interest payable based on just 1.125 million loan size, you are already forsaking 132,000 in interest premium payable just because of these two different progressive and full disbursement scheme. So if you learn something here from this chart here, just type in the chat box learn, so I know that you have learned something from this, because it's very important. Many people are just talking about immediate cash flow, and some of them even says that cash flow is the oxygen of investment. That kind of thinking, in my own words, is the very survival way of investment, because investment is a luxury, and if you have to drop yourself so low to see it as an oxygen for cash flow, you are missing the point of investment. Investment is all about making your money work harder for you. Of course, we talk about luxury, right? So that is something that you can do, not something that you barely can do and you want to do it, right? So very important, we don't want to fall into that trap as well. Okay, fantastic.